Hey guys, welcome to my 600th lesson of Pro Teachers News.
Holy!
Yeah.
600! I still can't believe I'm able to.
600!
Yep, I still can't believe I'm able to get all of these out to reach this number. I always keep on thinking, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it to that number. I'm not going to make it to that number. And then somehow, some way, I'm able to make it to that number.
I'll tell you that somehow, some way. You keep doing so many videos at once.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. That's true, but I got good friends here who are able to actually do the videos with me.
Guys, you gotta have friends.
Stop singing! But yeah, today we are covering Watchmen, one of the quintessential comic books. The only book on the New York Times bestseller.
Oh my god, this was the greatest comic I've ever read in my life.
I remember that.
No, this will be my
Wild,
first time. I know what goes on, but I've never read it all the way before.
Yep, we've had movies, we've had prequels, we've had follow-ups, sequels, Doomsday Clock, Rorschach, so much stuff from here, but it doesn't still hold up. That is the question we're going to be finding out today.
Apologies to
Oh
Alan Moore.
boy!
Yeah.
Yep,
I have already covered 2 out of the 12 issues on my channel.
Yep, so let's now. Okay, before we get started, let me ask all of you guys. First, Steph and Docs, what's your experience with Watchmen, if any?
Just the movie.
Just the movie? All right.
Yeah, I know a little bit from the comics, from like listening to them, but I don't really know them.
Yep, Eric, what about you? Same thing?
I've always heard of it. It's the only comic book on the in a bucket list book, 1001 books to read before you die. Obviously, not in the 1001 comics you should read before you die. That's a good. It would obviously be there. But other than that, I was not aware of the characters until I saw. If you remember, just some random guy, hi, I'm a Marvel, I'm a DC, and he would have the Watchmen figures. There's which led to a very interesting relationship with Rorschach and Deadpool. Which is
of all people.
I know,
okay.
You don't die, do you? Nope, Herm.
Okay, Jared, what about you?
I've only seen the Zack Snyder movie
And the anime movies.
and the animated movie. The animated movie was not as good.
Right, but yeah, but all right, and Ingrid, what about you?
Well, I think we've reviewed a couple of the Watchmen movies on this channel before.
We did the original one. Yes, we did. And we did the full cut, so we went almost 4 hours.
Oh, damn, yeah, that took a long time.
Yes, it did. And to be fair for Zach, even he said that's not his cut. Even he said that. Yep.
I'm familiar with the discourse around how a lot of people got the exact wrong message from Watchmen, and that's where we got a lot of like edgy, nihilistic comics from.
And
Reminds me of that Jim Cameron joke against Jim Cameron. Titanic, director's cut, they'll be there all night.
And Pika already know you have all the videos coming out and everything. You already up to
2 out, and I'm currently working on the 3rd one.
Yep. So yeah, so let's dive right in.
Rob, you didn't do it yourself. Why did you?
Myself. I've read it. I've read everything. I've read
Well, when did you first read it?
Oh, when? Probably in college. College is when I first read it. So I read Mouse before I read Watchmen. I know, a bit weird, but kind of fitting that we're covering this one that I did watch Mouse first before Watchmen.
Fair.
But yeah, so let's dive right in.
Art by Dave Gibbons. Already it looks great.
Yep. Rorschach Journal, October 12th, 1985. Dog carcass in alley this morning. Tire tread on burst stomach. The city's afraid of me. I've seen its true face. The streets are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood. And when the drain finally scabs over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up above their waists, and all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us!" And I'll look down and whisper, "No." They had a choice, all of them. They could have followed in the footsteps of good men, like my father or President Truman, but decent men who believed it's in a day's work for a day's pay. Instead, they followed the droppings of lectures and communists and didn't realize that the trail led over a precipice until it was too late. Don't tell me they didn't have a choice. Now the whole world stands on the brink, staring down into bloody hell. All those liberals and intellectuals and smooth talkers. And all of a sudden, nobody can think of anything to say. As we cut to two cops looking in on someone had been attacked, assaulted, beaten, and tossed out. But one of the things that surprises of him is this guy looks like he could have taken anyone. He had like a weightlifting pod and everything. So they're trying to theorize, crazy stuff. And like, hey, look, he had a photo with the vice president.
Hmm.
And everything.
Like a buff J. Jonah Jameson, bro.
It kind of does.
That's so
Parker.
true.
Yep.
Hey,
But
get
yeah,
right, watch the checkbook. Thanks for the good news.
but yeah, we're they're trying to figure things out, but it's like, no way, this was a straight burglary. But they also feel like, oh well, like it's the way things are. Like they'll work on it, but it's not going to go much further. But yeah, I love the jumping back and forth between the aftermath and what led up to it.
Yeah, nine panel layout works with it.
Yep, and at first we have no idea. So see about it. This is the first time we're seeing the comedian, and I do like how at first we are led to be a little sympathetic that he got jumped, but as we go through, we then realize, oh no,
There's something else too, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Oh yeah, and the who it was, but yeah, and yeah. So then there's Rorschach, and throughout all of this, we keep on having the variation of the 9-panel grid. And it's either the 9 panels or you merge the panels, but that's all we get here. And I love it. Just look at this.
No, this is great. It reminds me of those old Sunday comic strips.
Yep. And look at this. Kind of reminds you of Batman.
Yeah.
I'm
actually-
sure that was
I didn't
on
actually even realize
purpose.
that he's manually climbing himself up there because having seen the 2009 movie the first, it's had the grappling hook had a pull-out system.
Like a zip gun, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I love the contrast to these panels too, though. Like the really dark black back with the bright purples and oranges and stuff. It looks really
Yeah,
good.
I love it.
That's something a lot of the copycats didn't understand, because the juxtaposition of the contrast, as you mentioned, there's still a lot of bright colors in this, even though it's still made to be a very dark story and a very.
And I just realized something.
Yeah, it's kind of like Sin City almost, where it's like really emphasizing what they want you to
Oh
look
yeah.
at.
Yeah, but I love this. For a moment, he kind of looks like the Question because we don't see the Rorschach face.
Right, right.
Yeah.
We forgot about that. The Carlton comics were very much.
It was supposed to be Carlton comics, but then they told him.
But they didn't have to. Said no, you can't have the rights to them. So he just did a ton
No,
of that.
that's not what happened. Here's what happened.
They had the rights, but Dick Giordano told Alan Moore to.
There's not going to be anyone
make
left
those
at the
things.
end. There's basically there's not going to be anyone left alive to utilize after this.
Right.
And so yeah, but then there he is, the face of this series. And
Up there it is. Herm.
Yep. And I love this. He's looking at it and he realizes something's not right about this closet. And I love it. He's actually like, chink, chink, it's smaller on the inside. So he soon finds a button. Again, just look at this. No dialogue at all.
Less is more, and silence pictures, they tell more than 1,000 words.
Yep, and then here, so there I was in the supermarket buying dog food for old Phantom here, and I turn the corner of the aisle, and wham! I bump into a screaming skull. You remember him? I think I heard you mention him. Oh, I put him away a dozen times in the 40s, but he reformed and turned to Jesus since then. Married, got 2 kids. We traded addresses. Nice guy. Hollis, listen. It's almost midnight. I gotta go. Oh, sure, lost track of time. And they're talking about all that old stuff. You must have been bored as hell. You know better than that. These Saturday night bear sessions are what keep me going. Yeah, well, us old retired guys gotta stick together. Let me put this out, and I'll be right with you. You know, it's a crying shame that they put you youngsters out to grass in '77. You were a better Nite Owl than I ever was. Hollis, we both know that's bullshit. But thanks anyway. Hey, watch the language. This is the left hook that floor captain accents, remember? How can I forget? Thanks for another great night, Hollis. Take care of yourself. You too, Daddy. God bless. And now, I love this. Yes, it's supposed to be the two, the two Blue Beetle equivalents, but they still make it separate enough, different enough. Like, when I look at Danny, I don't see Ted, but yet I believe the parallels.
Oh, it's changed enough. Like Dave Gibbons was made him look like a middle-aged, out-of-shape Clark Kent.
Kinda, yeah, definitely. But of
I
course,
can see that.
yep.
Up, a little thing for the Americans. We call it a ghetto blaster.
Yep.
Did he say Danny, or why did it sound like it was
She thought
Daddy?
you said daddy.
I was like,
Yeah,
"Right."
Danny.
He's like, he called
Danny,
him daddy.
Danny,
I was like, wait,
Danny,
it's
Danny.
Danny.
Yeah.
Danny.
No, that's funny.
I just got it in the middle, and I have been calling him just Daniel.
Yep. Got hungry waiting. Help myself to some beans. Hope you don't mind. Rorschach, that is a... No, of course I don't mind. You want me to heat those up for you or anything? No need. Fine like this. So, long time no see. How have you been keeping? Out of prison so far. Take a look at this. What is it? That little stain. Is that bean juice or... That's right. Human bean juice. Badge belonged to the comedian. Blood, too. He's dead. Dead? What are you talking about? The comedian? Investigated a routine homicide. Victim named Edward Blake. Found the costume in Blake's wardrobe. Seems he was the comedian. Now, what is it about that idea? That not even amongst themselves, not all of them knew their identity. So, like, and no one knew Edward Blake was the comedian unless they were in the involved with the government or anything. I find that interesting.
The government was like to
Yeah.
keep Blake's identity a secret, like went into great lengths to keep his identity from being discovered. Whereas,
The only ones who knew were the
like in the
original
war and stuff too, though, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Like,
Vietnam War. Yeah, but the only people who
so
knew
of course
were
they
the
wanted to
original.
keep his identity under wraps.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm
Yep.
not trying to cut you off.
No, it's all right. But yeah, the only people who knew were the original Minutemen because they were more open about such things. Most of them, not all, most of them, and Dr. Manhattan because he worked with him in the government.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep. Oh, and I love the little details here, like Rorschach swiping all the cube sugar, because obviously he's mostly home. Now, actually, that's the funny thing is, it's never been made clear that Rorschach was homeless. In fact, from what I recall hearing, he's not homeless. He does have a job. We never see it because there's no need to see it. Obviously, he doesn't make much if he's willing to steal sugar.
Mhm.
But yeah, from what I understand, if you look at the art role-playing guidebook, which Alan Moore was involved with, Rorschach does have a home and a job.
we see his apartment in the later issues.
Yeah.
As for the job, that's not much spoken of.
It doesn't matter. It's not really needed to know.
Yeah, Michael Straczynski kind of expanded on the before Watchmen with
Yep.
mostly the Nite Owl series.
Yep. But I love the interaction. I gotta say this. The stuff between Nite Owl and Rorschach are the highlights of this whole series because these are the two legit. Danny is the only decent human being in this whole book.
And the
I
movie.
would say so.
Yeah, he is definitely the only decent human being. Is he perfect? No. But compared to everyone else, he's the only truly... Okay, him and Hollis both. Because Hollis is probably a better man than Danny, but still. But,
I got the idea.
yeah, might have just been an ordinary burglary or something. Maybe the killer didn't know who Blake was. An ordinary burglar killed a comedian? Ridiculous. Hey, Tris, how's it going?
Tris.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Hey, how's it going? Yep. Oh, and yep. Let's effing go. I guess
Let's
it does.
go!
Yep. I heard he's been working for the government since the 70s, knocking over Marxist republic because in South America. Maybe this was a political killing. Maybe it was someone's picking off costume heroes. Every time I'm reading this, I'm picturing the movie.
Yep.
As I'm reading
You
it,
did
I'm
such a good
just
job.
yep.
You're reading it. You've seen that movie enough, haven't you?
Yep. Don't you think maybe that's a little paranoid? Is that what they're saying about me now? That I'm paranoid? Comedian was active, but yeah. So all of this, like, he's going to now check in on everything. Which again, it's what you don't know about Rorschach that actually makes his actions interesting. Like the fact is, he doesn't have to, but he chooses to go and warn everyone else because he thinks, yeah, someone's possibly going after costume heroes.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep. But yes, I remember. Used to come down here back when we were partners. Oh yeah. Those were great times, Rorschach. Great times. Whatever happened to them? You quit. Oh.
Awkward.
Yep, of course. We see Rorschach comes in to look up at everything, and he hears that something like Dame was Eder Blake, friend of mine. And as soon as the guy says something, I gotta take a leak. Hey man, I didn't mean anything.
They cut this scene out from the 2009 movie, but kept it in the 2024 animated.
Yep. I've just broken this gentleman's little finger. Who's killed Edward Blake? And his index finger. Who killed Edward Blake? Please, we don't know. Oh, God, man, leave him alone. So, yeah. And then, of course, he meets up with Adrian Veidt, a.k.a. and Ozymandias, of course. And obviously, we all know the twist, but we're not going to bring it up right now, obviously.
No twist yet.
Yep. I've never claimed to be anybody special, Rorschach. I just have some over-enthusiastic PR man. Listen, could it have been a political killing? Maybe the Soviets? Dryberg said the same thing. Don't believe it. America's Dr. Manhattan. Red has been running scared since 65. They never dare antagonize us. I think we've got a mass killer. Not necessarily. The comedian had plenty of other political enemies. Again, all this, and again, knowing how it is, you get fooled here. I will say that. You do get fooled here. That's one thing I do like. It's like, this is a good, legit mystery. I came here to warn you about the mass killer, so you didn't end up smartest man in the morgue.
Good turn of phrase.
Yep.
Dark sense of humor. Jeez.
All right. Oh, damn.
Yep. Of course, and again, the fact Rorschach, again, he's just a normal guy. No powers, no nothing, but he's able to sneak into a government facility who probably have kept their guard down because who's going to really break in?
It's like, you don't post as many guards because you don't think anyone's interested.
Good evening. Good evening, Rorschach.
It's like that episode of South Park where they just sneak in with Tally unnoticed because the guy's back is turned. It was too weak. And this is after trying to break the code, but of course Tally got high and just played Funky Town. Anyway.
But
good morning, Snake.
I know. Good evening, Dr. Manhattan. What are you doing here, Rorschach? This is a government base, and I heard you're wanted by the police. Good evening, Miss Jupiter. That's just epic. Jupiter was just a name my mother assumed because she didn't want anyone to know she was Polish. You didn't answer my question. Apologies. Came to warn you both and bring bad news. The comedian is dead. Yes, since he and I are the only two extra normal operatives currently employed by the government, and was informed on Saturday morning. I understand the CIA suspect the Libyans were responsible. Have my own theories on that. Take it you're not too concerned about Blake's death. A live body and a dead body contain the same number of particles. Structurally, there's no discernible difference. Life and death are unquantifiable abstract. Why should I be concerned? Anyway, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Blake was a bastard. He was a murderer. You know, he tried to rape my mother back when they were both... Monster. Well, that works either way still.
It does. It
definitely does work.
Yeah. So you support the allegation made in House Mason's book concerning Blake? What Mason said in Under the Hood is what happened. God knows I'm not my mother's biggest admirer, but some things shouldn't happen to anybody. Why do you think Blake never sued Mason? I'm here to speculate in the moral lapses of men who died in the service of their country. I came to warn. Moral lapses? Rape is a moral lapse. You know he broke her ribs. You know he
Right,
almost
so-
choked her. John, get this creep out of here. You
God, I hate how relevant that is. I wish
Yep.
that didn't sound relevant.
I think you ought to go. With due respect, Dr. Manhattan, I warned White and Dryberg, and I intend to warn you and your lady friend. I believe someone else is eliminating masked adventurers, possibly some old foe with a grudge, I believe. I said I think you ought to go. Spent a lot of time getting in to see you, not leaving before I had my say. But yep, this is of course where we get fun. He's gone. Are you still upset? And eventually, oh yeah, Rorschach mentioned Dan Dryberg. We haven't seen Dan in years. Maybe I'll call him up and ask him out to dinner, if you don't mind. That is, of course not. I'd join you, but I think I'm close to locating a goalie again, showing just how over it, how he is and everything, and. Yeah, then of course, see you later, Dan. Bye. So yeah, of course, he's just walking through, and this leads to a moment I love as they're talking about being retired, how Laurie never really cared for it and everything. And then, hey, remember that guy, the one who pretended to be a supervillain so he could get beaten up? Right, you mean Captain Carnage. He was one for the books. You're telling me. I remember I caught him coming out of this jeweler. I didn't know what his racket was. I started hitting him, and I think, geez, he's breathing funny. Does he have asthma? He tried that with me, only I heard about it, so I just walked away. He followed me down the street, broad daylight, right? He kept saying, punish me! And I'm saying, no, get lost. Whatever happened to him? Oh, he pulled it on Rorschach, and Rorschach dropped him down an elevator shaft. Oh, God, I'm sorry. That isn't funny.
Oh,
no,
God.
I guess it's not.
That's
Jeez,
hilarious.
I love that. That's one of those like, oh, that's not funny. That's not. Well, what do you? There don't seem to be so many good laughs around these days. Well, what do you expect? The comedian's dead. And we get all the backstory, which, of course, no way am I reading this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those are also here in my book in Finnish, and I have mostly kept from referring to those in the videos.
When I was reading Doomsday Clock, every time I saw like actual reading, I was like, nope, skipping. Get me back to the pictures.
It's like a whole book inside the book.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
some of the information is relevant to some background information, but it's not.
Read all of the lore.
Oh, time out. Okay, Pika, what did you say?
Some of that stuff is relevant to some historical parts, but something, and maybe it's mentioned in the later issues of like as a background dialogue. But
it's fluff. It's fluff.
Yeah, but one of those information actually is that they mentioned in some of them, and also in the third issue. I'll point it out when we get to it. Yep.
Inger, what were you saying?
I mean, I remember reading through that. I think you gave me that, and I read through all of the lore, but I'm the kind of person that likes to absorb all of the lore, so I don't expect most people are going to do that.
Yep, I gave you my trade after I got the Absolute Edition.
Yep.
But then here's where we meet and where Laurie meets up with her mother and all that, and of course, it's Eddie Brake's funeral, right? Mom and Mom, I know, just having a nice conversation, and this is where it's a little more questionable, the basis. Clearly, obviously, there's supposed to be a bit of Phantom Lady here, but also Black Canary is more brought into this, who wasn't a Charlton character.
No, she's still very much a DC character.
Oh, Nightshade or Phantom. Yeah, it's kind of I brought this up too in my video that it was kind of big and choose when it came to or maybe because they only had like few token female characters. They took inspiration from more than one of them.
Yeah, but the fact that this is more of a Black Canary than anything else is what I find interesting.
It's in the dynamic, maybe.
Yep. Poor Eddie. Mom, how can you say that after you almost... Laurie, you're young. You don't know how things change. What happened 40 years ago, it's history. And what I love about this, we keep getting everyone's backstory throughout all of this. Now, Okay, I'll be up. That's Rorschach, but I do like how you really can't tell when you see him.
Yeah, it's one
Like-
of those that actually adds to the real read value when you come back to later when you know about it.
Definitely. But of course, the mother is giving Glory crap for smoking. It's like, I'm how old, Lori? Really? You're gonna smoke in front of me?
Smoking
And
is
of
very
course,
bad for you,
Lori
okay?
showing just a bit of a still of a brat she is. Like, okay, fine. It's like
Smoking is very bad for you, okay?
the fact that Lori was just so willing to do that, just haphazardly, just tells you how much contempt she has for her mother still.
Yes. Now, can I
Oh
please do
boy,
my
oh
joke?
boy.
What were you saying, Eric?
Can I please do my joke? You interrupted me
Oh,
twice.
sorry. Go ahead.
Smoking is very bad for you, okay? R2D2, you found a cigarette. What? It's smoking. You throw it up at home.
Okay.
This is a real PSA, folks.
Yep, I remember that. I remember that PSA.
Uh-huh.
They had the voice. They had what's his name? Anthony Daniels do the voice.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes just 3 of us men left now. Me, Hollis, and poor Brian Lewis in the bug house in Maine. Of course, he won't die until Doomsday Clock. Funny. Eddie was the youngest.
Taps and friends.
Yep. Always joking about how old we were. He said he'd bury us. See, that was Ed. It was Eddie. Always talking like he was top of it, like it was never going to happen to him. He was a comedian. He always thought he'd get the last laugh. But yep, and there's the flashback, and I love when you do that whole. You see the image, then you cut to what happened immediately afterwards. Like, we can move. I can finally scratch my armpit. And stuff like that. Like, we always wonder what happened right afterwards.
That's
Yep.
funny.
Here's
Yeah.
some dialogue that none of the adaptations acknowledged, by the way.
Oh yeah, all of this here about what's going on, trying to get people active in other countries. Actually, no. The only thing, maybe not an adaptation, but the only thing that did play off of it was the show. The show played off of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that's
I definitely do want to check out the show. We just haven't yet.
Here's the
I
thing.
mean,
If Alex was here,
checking
he'd
it
be
out
telling
doesn't
you.
make it good, you know.
I'll tell you, when Alex and I were watching it, for the first couple of episodes, we were loving it. Alex said he was one of the best shows. Then they started incorporating more and more into Watchmen itself, and then it was like, oh, come on!
Oh, really? That's
Like here's one.
Oh,
I hate
like,
when
for
it
example-
starts out good and then just tears itself apart.
Like, for example, Hooded Justice here. Not the Hooded Justice we know.
Yeah.
But he, like everything indicated, including the official RPG, was that he was a German, I believe German weightlifter, strongman and everything. But then what did they say it would be? Oh no, he was a black man posing as a white guy.
Oh my god, Tropic Thunder style.
Yeah,
White man posing as black man, posing as a white man, posing as a black man.
Hey, wait a minute. What do you mean, you people?
it was stuff like that.
Dude
You're just like,
playing a dude disguised as another dude.
I'm a dude. Disguised as another dude. And then I love it though. What I love about RDJ, he said, I don't break character until the end of the commentary. He stayed in character throughout the commentary, and then finally got the other.
Right.
Hey guys, it's Robert Downey Jr. Hey, let's get this started. Too
He
late.
actually got surgery to make himself black.
No, just the voice, during
No,
the commentary.
according to the movie, he actually got surgery to make his skin black.
Oh
Better
boy.
than the half-painted face that Roddy Piper did once.
Yeah. But yeah, now keep in mind again. So now, what I keep trying to remember, what is the age the comedian is supposed to be? Because that's one downside was Dave Gibbons. You can't tell when he's drawing someone who's supposed to be young.
I think he when I looked up, but I didn't write it down or mention it in my video. But it's something about him. So he and Sally were supposed to be like the youngest of the bunch, like somewhere between 18 and 19. But they changed it. But they changed it for the movie so that they would be 25 to 30 because the actors could not place the people that young.
According to this, he's 16 during this.
16.
oh, that seems a bit young.
What?
Well, comic
Hold
teams
on. He was
don't like All kind of like teens never
61
look
when
like
he.
actual teenagers.
And
Rorschach
yep,
mentions his age at the end of the issue, so let's use math.
Yep. So this is 1940. So, and of course, Laurie's supposed to be 18. And they don't look it. That's one downside with Dave Gibbons. I don't buy the age.
She's supposed to be 34 in the present day of 86.
Wait, 34?
34, 5, 10, 15, 20.
Really? She aged that badly?
Smoke.
No, I mean, Laurie is supposed to be 34.
Laurie is. Oh, sorry. But yeah, of course, the beating. Oh.
There's some.
And then, Out of Justice comes in. But then, as you point out in your video, because he thinks there's a joke to it.
He thinks there's a joke to it.
He came to stop Blake, but he doesn't help
Laurie.
Sally.
Sally. Yep. For God's sake, and get up. For God's sake, cover yourself. But so obviously we get from that, and we see from Ozzy's point of view with the attempt to bring back the Minutemen as the Crime Busters, and didn't go so well. Obviously and I love this. Here's Rorschach. This is Rorschach before he broke. Obviously, I agree. But a group this size seems more like a public exercise. Somehow, it's too big and unwieldy. I find that interesting when you see Rorschach before his mental break. Because look at that. His speech pattern, his bubble doesn't look different. He's talking much more coherently. He's definitely not spouting conspiracies.
Right.
But in other words, he's not really Rorschach yet, as he himself would admit.
You know, something I realized at the point when my video was already out and I was about to publish, I was doing the video description, is that the comedian in this scene is more of a straight man. Yeah, calling out the ridiculousness of it all. And of course, it don't matter squat here. Let me show you why it don't matter. It don't matter squat because 30 years the nukes are going to be flying like Maybobs, my display. And then Ozzy here is going to be the smartest man on the cinder. Now, pardon me, but I've got an appointment. Basically, this is taking the whole idea of, you guys want to go fight crime? Who cares? The real world stuff is bigger issues. And, stuff like that. And it's kind of an interesting thing when the only superhero you have is Dr. Manhattan. He's the only superpowered being. Everyone else is a crime fighter. So in other words, you don't have the whole, they're going to butt in with, foreign affairs and everything. It's a bit different when most of them were just punchy punch.
Yeah, they were just two-fisted.
Street level fight.
They're just actual vigilantes.
It's like Green Arrow. Yeah, guys like Green Arrow or Green Hornet or the Sandman, the original Sandman with the gas gun.
Right.
Or the
exactly. Running around.
Yep. So when you think about it, yes, Manhattan will make a case, but when you think about if anyone else was going to get involved, going after simple criminals is, as the comedian is putting it, what's the point when the world is getting more and more on the edge? I find that an interesting commentary.
I would tell them one thing: we're not soldiers.
We're pretty much acting like he would then make the argument. Like we're not that different from soldiers, since we're taking it upon ourselves to do stuff normal people can't and won't.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over until it's over, right? You could be getting your butt whooped and then make a comeback at the last second. You never know until it's fully over.
Yep. Now, of course, we have Vietnam is over, and thus we're having the first chopper with Nixon, the first chopper to make it to Saigon since the ceasefire. Like me, I'm taking the first chopper out. You're anxious to leave? Doc, are you kidding? I hate this place. Of course. But like a lot of soldiers during Nam, had fun with a woman there and knocked her up. And of course, she's saying, you're not going to just walk away. Damn right I am.
Of course.
Of course, this is how he got the scar and everything. But then, ready to shoot Blake. Blake, don't do it. Medic! And she was pregnant. You gunned her down. Yeah, Yeah, that's right. Pregnant woman, gunned her down. Bang. You know what? You watched me. You could have changed the gun into steam or into the bullets into mercury or the bottle into snowflakes. You could have teleported either of us to goddamn Australia. But you didn't lift a finger. You don't really give a damn about human beings. I've been watching you. You never cared about what's her name, Janie Slater, even before you ditched her. Soon you won't be interested in Sally Jupiter's little gal either. You're drifting out of touch, Doc. You're turning into a flake. God help us all. And yeah, again, the interesting thing about Manhattan is as he moves forward, he too changes. At the beginning, while he's still a little bit of this numb, like, I know what's going to happen, he still has a little bit of his humanity at the beginning.
I would argue that he had some, he was more too much human in this. Like he was reacting to the situation and was like humanely shocked to the point he forgot about his powers for the moment.
True, which is why I never cared for him shouting during in the Snyder movie. Nothing against it, just felt like...
It wasn't shouting, it was more like he raised his voice when he realized what was happening.
Right, but just it felt like too emotional. I get why they probably thought it was a good idea, just didn't work well for me given where Manhattan is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But, of course, then we see Danny's interaction with him as the King Act is about to be passed soon, and that's all they can do. This is one of the last nights being vigilantes and everything. They're just all they can do is just calm people down, not hurt anyone, and try and just stop it. And cops say let them do it, but that's what that article there says. Again, just all this. My son's a police officer. I'm not going to say that word. But yeah, it's like, I heard what you said. My government contract's telling me some new act is being headed through. Until then, we're society's only protection. We keep it up long as we have to. Protection, who are we protecting them from? From themselves, whatever. And again, just, what happened to the American dream? It came true. You're looking at it.
In the 2009 movie, Daniel actually tried to stop him. He failed, but he was rigid. Hey, don't do that.
Exactly. Which I like that. That I like in that movie where he's trying to stop him. But yeah, this is going on and everything. It's just, again, this is why I said, at the beginning, you feel sympathy for the comedian. Now you're like, you don't know how to feel.
Well, I'll tell you how to feel about him. He's a stone jackass.
Yep. That's a good way of putting it. And then, of course, someone mysterious there. It was one of their villains, Moloch. And, basically finding out, like, he came there for some respect. Why? Because right before he died, the comedian came to him. And, I love this scene here. One, the coloring, the lighting, and everything. As you can tell, there's, like, a rotating light outside.
Yeah, that's all yellow and gold.
It goes back and forth with, because of the color. Again, I love that. And when you actually look at everything that happens, you realize what he was talking about.
Yeah, that contrast again is really crazy. The gold with the purple, It looks really good.
Yep. And of course, I just love the fact it's like I'm coming here. What am I? And what is villains? What the hell does that? And what does that say? I love that. Just simply the fact it's
boy!
I call it a deconstruction in my video. Like he had led the life he had led. It led to this point.
Exactly. And again, what did that say? Right? That out of everyone he knows, the only person he could come to about this is one of his old enemies.
Yeah. I've heard of thy enemy is thy friend, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's the only one that knows what he's been through.
Possibly, or could the older fellow, the only person who would listen, maybe not understand, but listen.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Jared.
Yep.
Where'd Jared go?
Jared? No. He just turned off his camera, dude. That's all.
Oh.
Yep. So he'll be back on. But yeah, of course, he meets up with him. Talks about this drug. It's illegal, but it's trying to help him get through cancer. Again, all this stuff is set up. That's the one thing about here. There's almost nothing in here that's useless. Every little bit of detail here actually has a payoff.
Everything is connected.
Yep.
Everything.
Everything. Yep. As he didn't give.
We need to gather everyone. Who? Everyone.
One. Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Is his name? Is Blake's age named anywhere here?
Let me look. Oh, born 1924.
Okay, that would make him in 1941 to be 16 years.
Yep.
That's older than Mickey Mouse.
Or 17.
Yep. But of course, like he saw the true face of the 20th century and chose to become a reflection, a parody of it. No one else saw the joke. That's why he was lonely. Her joke once, man goes to doctor, says he's depressed, said life seems harsh and cruel, says he feels all alone in a threatening world where what lies ahead is vague and uncertain. Doc says, treatment is simple. Great clown and Pagliacci is in town tonight. Go and see him. That should pick you up. Man bursts into tears, says, but doctor, I am Pagliacci. Good joke. Everybody laughs. Roll on snare drum. Curtains.
Rini Pagliacci.
But yep, and then there's more from the under the hood stuff. Again, we don't. All this is meant to fill in more.
I should have probably mentioned that. In the 2009 movie, I mean, it was in the extended version, they show that Hollis was there when, along with Hooded Justice, when he came to stop.
Yeah, that was an interesting
so that he saw it happen, so that he could write it down.
I like that. But yep, and now of course this is where we get the two Bernies.
Yeah, this is what I'm currently working on.
Yep. And this is also where we start to get the story within a story that ends up also being just as important, but not enough that you could cut it out from other adaptations.
You turn the page, you wash your hands. You wash your hands. Sorry.
But yeah, obviously it's the Black Tale of the Black Freighter. Okay, first let me ask. So, Stephen Docs, what do you think of it so far?
I mean, I like the artwork. The story is kind of crazy, but I do really, I'm enjoying it. I don't know. It's like a 7 so far.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Yeah. What about Steph?
I mean, it's pretty much not exactly as the movie was, but it's close.
It's close.
Yep.
I can't hear Steph.
She says it's close to what the movie was.
That's why we've been on mute because of the
my AC. It's so hot right now. All right,
Yep. You said it was close. It's not exactly like the movie, obviously.
It's close to it, with the relationships and some of the darker story, So I like it because I liked the movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and your copy of New Frontiersman. Sure, it's here. I keep it for you every day. How's the end of the world coming along? It'll happen today. I've seen signs. And National Examiner reported a 2-headed cat born in Queens. The day for certain. You'll keep my paper for me tomorrow? Sure, I will. No sweat. Have a nice day. You won't forget? He did that on purpose.
Oh my God.
You know he did that on purpose.
Okay, for a dark book, this has a lot of great comedy.
It does. Of course, Laurie for having a nice night with John, and then he tried to do 2 of them. It's like trying to help you. I don't know what stimulates you. Oh, it's fine, just my problem. And turns out he's still working.
Oh my God, dude!
It's the whole notion. Yes, you can copy yourself. Which one's the real one? And she knows the real one is the one working. The other ones are just.
He has his priorities straight.
It's
not to mention,
it's a
the 2009 movie actually made Laurie's outburst more justified because he was working with Adrian.
That's true.
So it's basically like emotional cheating.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, but working while you have your 2 clones put in work on your wife is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
Yep. And then we can see a little bit about Jane as we're finding out a bit about her, it's what's been going on with her. We find out is dying from cancer. And she don't care that she has to smoke about smoking anymore. She already has a death sentence. And of course, she points out, I remember soon after he failed to prevent JFK's assassination, We argued. I said, John, you know every damn thing in this world fits together except people. He couldn't relate to me. Not emotionally, certainly not sexually. Within 3 years, he dumped me for some 16-year-old who ran around in her underwear.
And so much of the underage things. Jesus.
This is Alan Moore we're talking about.
And yeah, let me put it this way. He eventually did a book called Lost Girls, which was about Alice from Alice in Wonderland, Wendy from Peter Pan, and oh geez, what was the third one? On.
Look it up.
It was the third one was Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, underage, but it was trying to do artistic porn.
Did he eventually get arrested for his CP addiction or no?
No.
That's what it sounds like.
And he defended it.
It sounds like an addiction to me.
Yeah, he defended it. Yep. And,
yes.
Yep. And of course, the artwork was done by his wife.
What?
Yep.
Stop it.
She shared the view that it was she shared the view that it was artistic.
Steph would have been like, is that what you like? You like them underage? Chop, chop, chop. Yeah.
I know.
Okay, those two are made for each other. I can only picture their wedding day.
Apparently, it took 16 years to illustrate it due to the different layering she was doing.
That's so insane.
Your wedding was like a playground at a school.
Did she enjoy CP also?
We don't know. We don't know. I think they just justified to themselves as artistic.
It's not artistic.
Sure.
Wow.
Well, technically it is, but
I mean, anybody can do it. But
yeah, exactly. But yeah,
gross.
definitely. But obviously, we don't see Laurie has gone over the dance and everything to talk, and because she feels like kind of like how it was with comedian chewing out on to Malik, going out to Malik. Who else does she have to talk to? No one. She's not going to talk to Rorschach. Adrian would be, she knows how he'd be talking to her. Dan's the only other person she could talk to who could be understanding.
Sadly, yeah, that tracks.
Yep. And of course, she even knows what he's doing. He's going to get ready for his interview and act like nothing's happened because he already knew this argument was going to happen. Yeah, and yeah, so of course, he then heads over. But then, of course, there's going to be something that the Manhattan himself wouldn't see coming. Oh, and then, she's in a bad mood. And his interview's about to go on. Meanwhile, they're about to get mugged.
Did they just choose to take a detour or a shortcut through the alleys?
Yeah, they just chose to take they don't say why, they just chose to. Oh, I love this.
They said about it to the locksmith.
Yep, I love this. But play it cool and try not to get into any tight corners.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've already noticed this is kind of symbolically that they are both two scenes, same kind of struggle. So one is vocal, the other is physical.
Yep. Well, yes, that's just perfect. That's certainly dark enough for my purposes. I love that.
God, dude.
Yep. But of course, this is then why they start to kick butt. And again, and it's clear they are not going in for kill shots or anything in the book.
I sent you the screenshot of my script and the scene that I noticed about the fight choreography.
Yeah, and Laurie's being a little more brutal, but not by much.
Yeah.
But of course, then at the same time, we're finding out that so many people that were close to Manhattan. Wally Weaver died of cancer in 1971. Edgar Jacob Malik dealt with him plenty of times. He's battling cancer. Janie is suffering from cancer. And he had no idea about this. And then eventually everyone's...
Then the movie also had some long list of other people too.
Yep, so many other people had it. They're starting to pile up on him and everything. Like Tina Price from The Watchmen. Are these allegations true all this stuff, which eventually leads to leave me alone, because he never. Again, this is the point where someone is blocking him from seeing this happening. He's basically reached the point now where he can't see it.
Moment. No,
Except all he did was teleport them out. But yeah,
they say somewhere that he teleported everyone to their homes.
Yep, we never see that, but that's exactly what happened. And then
Imagine if you did get teleported there, and you're like, "What happened?"
Exactly. But yeah, that's where they find out. But now with Manhattan gone, now it's going to be tough. Now the Reds feel like open season on America. Yep. Well, he hasn't left. He's about to leave, I should more say. But the timing of everything, that interview happened. This article happens. Everything. And then, of course, and Sally's left him and everything. It just feels too coordinated. Lori, why do you say I'm mixing them up constantly?
Because they're the same. Sally
and Lori. But yep, leaves and he makes it to where the bomb tests were. He originally was at and everything when he became Manhattan. Finds his old photo, and then teleports off to Mars. Of course. Now Lori is finding out about what happened and everything, and I love how it's basically saying, "Your meal ticket has flown the coop." And now, of course, Rorschach feels like this is intentional. This feels too coincidental. It doesn't feel like a coincidence. Who else could be in on it?
There, by the way, is in the right upper panel.
Right here.
Yeah, he says there that there used to be Superman, Flash, like fictional superheroes that we know. They used to exist as fictional characters, but the moment Minutemen started running around, the novelty of custom heroes died down. That's why we have Black Rider in superhero comics place.
Exactly. I like that detail. Where once superheroes are gone, if real superheroes exist that early on, they would drop. Kind of like how in The Walking Dead, that's supposed to be a world where the Romero zombie movies never happened. Hence why they don't call them zombies. They call them walkers, because the term zombie never got popularized. Oh, I also love this whole, once he reads that, Russia invades Afghanistan, the moment Manhattan's gone, he tells the kid, keep the comic. You're a good kid. Just go. Yep. And everything's starting to go.
Wow, dude, the pink and gold. Holy crap. I think that's my favorite set of pages. That was crazy.
Yep. Definitely.
It gets me every time.
Yep, and now we're up to the Manhattan issue now. And this,
now it's I like that. Blue, pink, purple, gold. Now it's everything.
And, well, of course, he's on Mars.
It's the life on Mars.
But yeah, I sit in a Brooklyn. But yeah, all this is him jumping around through his life. Like the moment he the atomic bomb was dropped, his father realized, forget watchmaking. You're going into something that's more about the future.
Future.
Now, here's one thing that also doesn't make sense. We see all this. He's in Brooklyn and all that stuff. And yet the show, the actual, the TV show, somehow had to be there with a brief time. He was in Germany.
Don't shut.
It's weird. Again, it's them changing the stuff to try and fit it in, even though it doesn't make a lick of sense. But yeah, so of course he went into being his father. Now this is a case of a father who is more having a bit of a breakdown, but he's not abusing his son to do it. It's more of a case where it's like, this isn't the future. You're going to study the future, and it just so happened that his son was good at it.
Right.
So the case of the father pushed his son into it rather than say, no, you're going to stick to the old ways. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting play on it.
Yeah, because again, normally the case of where it's like, I got to go into computers. No, you're not. You're going to focus on this. Instead, it's like, no, son, computers is what you want. But Dad, hey, I am good at computers. But yeah, so that's when he meets up with Janie. They have a good time and everything. He's remembering as it jumps around. Again, it's giving us how his mind operates. He lives in every moment at once.
Mm.
Obviously, the longer it goes and the closer he gets to those moments he's seeing is why he gets more and more like, what's the point of fighting it? Because by that point, he knows now, oh, it is going to happen. Whereas in the earlier days, he's more likely to think, it's not certain. It's not certain. At least that's how I see it. What do you guys think? Do you think that's why he got more emotionless?
I don't know, maybe.
It could
Could
be
be that,
like
or
in
maybe it could be
Justice
something that
League.
he.
It could be
Wait.
like in that Justice League anime movie, kind of like that, where it's like you had Owlman who like became a nihilist because he's like, it doesn't matter whatever I do.
Exactly.
The inevitable is still gonna happen no matter what.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Pika?
Or it could be also like sense that he sees or hears the future, how it's happening, and then for a moment, like, wait, that happens now, and then before he can stop it from happening, the moment already has passed.
That's true.
Like,
And
for example, Vietnam
at
could have been
first,
one of those moments.
At first, and then eventually, I think, especially after Vietnam, you soon realize, what's the point of fighting it? It's going to happen whether I stop it or not, and I try or even think about it or not.
Mm.
What about you, Ingrid? What do you think?
Good question.
But yeah, then obviously he went, like, what led to it all, they're working on a device, a test chamber. He left his watch that he was working on for Janie. Went in there to go, or he fixed it. Went in to go get it. The door closed. At first he's like, oh, what boy, this is, I'm sorry. But then he found out there's no way to stop it. He's stuck in there now, freaking out. And I love it. Janie, don't go. Oh God, I can't stay and watch, please. I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to either.
Yeah.
That's like being asked to stay by and watch when you're about to be unfairly executed.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then, whoosh.
Boom.
And then we see as he keeps trying to put himself together. It takes a while.
Yeah, a brain with eyes.
Yep. And eventually he does. We
I
all
am a
know that
Marvel. What?
image.
I gotta do it. I am a Marvel. Whoa!
Yep.
I
Yep.
have been, just for the third video I have been working on. Guess how many censored bars I have already?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Of course, I also love it. They give him the atom, the fictional atom symbol. Where he's like, that's not what an atom is. If I must have a symbol, there we go. I love it. Like, it's simple. I like it. Yeah, and so, again, all of this stuff, I love the jumping around. Like, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that moment. And all that. Meeting up with JFK, and yet he knew what was going to happen.
And I would just like to say this to the American people.
Yep. Oh, I love it. And also when he says, like, I'll be a while before they even affect General Motors. Sorry, but electric cars are the way of the future. Enjoy your retirement. I guess. Of course, then, yeah, you knew it was going to happen in 1959. I could hear you shouting. Here now in 1965, soon we make love. Just like that? No, we'll make love right after Wally arrives with the earrings I ordered you. Sure enough? But then, of course, even when he's there with Janie, he knows he's going to cheat on her. Again, by this point, he's like, it's inevitable.
Judgment Day is inevitable.
Yeah.
Going to look like an older woman there, too.
Yep, there's the woman that gets shot later. Again, he probably knew. He probably knew it was going to happen.
Thank you for putting your shorts on. Jeez.
Not when it was going to happen, but just that it was going to happen.
Yep. Of course, that's when they meet Ozzy and everything. We get and Burbastis. I love it, that little creature. Love it better as a little kitten, though, in Doomsday Clock. Yep. Of course, yeah, again, just all this stuff about how you see him more and more detached and everything. How eventually the King's Act had been passed and all that. Everyone surrendered and everything. And again, he just looks at what's happening. He knows what's going to happen now, but now he's reached the point now where he doesn't know what's coming. Oh, and now, look at this.
Whoa.
He creates a clock.
Ooh.
Like a clock.
It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we get someone's study about Dr. Manhattan. But yep, now we see a bit with Malak and everything. Behind you. I wasn't.
Okay, those eyes peeking out, that looks like a cover from EC comic. That's like one of the like a horror monster.
That's really cool though, the way they did the shading with the different colors.
I love that still. Yeah, I just love the coloring on it.
Lots and lots of shadows.
Yep. But of course, yeah, this is where he's trying to feel like your name was brought up when it came to Manhattan. They all had cancer, like you. Are you in on this? What do you know? I don't know. Like, better. So he's basically like, I'll come by later. Can't make omelet without breaking a few eggs. Yeah. Now this is where we start to get a bit more about Rorschach. We're not there yet. But yeah, we get a bit more about the tale of the Black Freighter. Okay, to summarize the Black Freighter, it's about a man who fights to get back home. He does horrible things, rips up the body of his crew because he wants to get home before the Black Freighter does because he feels they're going to attack it. So he does all this amoral stuff to do it. Like he makes a raft out of these people, fights off the birds and everything. Yeah. But it eats from the bodies so he can stay alive because he needs, I got to get home. I got to get home. But the moment he gets home, he is already a twisted monster. He is so full of paranoia that he attacks his wife, thinking it was part of the Black Freighter's crew, and that he realizes what he's become. He runs off, finds out the Black Freighter is there, but they weren't there to attack. They were there to pick him up because he had become just like them.
Oh, sweet irony.
So in other words, in trying to make it home, all the choices he made, the paranoia he built up, he was no longer going to be the same again.
I
like that.
Double irony.
And hopefully fixed still.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a bit about, we get a bit about with Rorschach, with his play, like meeting around, trying to find out from anyone, anything, and all that. Afghanistan is Pakistan and Pakistan next. Oh, now we have a moment where Ozzy is about to be attempt to be assassinated. His secretary gets shot. Ooh. He then fights him, tries to stop him, and he says he has a poison capsule in it. I want to know who's behind it. He ends up getting killed. Kind of funny. He's claiming he's trying to get it out.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, buddy.
But of course, who's going to question him now? Who's going to question him?
Yeah, it looks like what it looks like.
Yep. Of course, I love it how they're asking, like, the toy company want to know what enemies you have. He said, call the toy people and cancel the extension. If they ask, just tell them I don't have any enemies. Yep. So, yeah, a lot of this is working on a lot of the, just building up on some things. We see that Danny and Laurie are getting along well, but most of it is for the Black Freighter. Yep. Again, just some of it is getting some ducks in a row, but then we see Rorschach goes to meet up with Malak. Malak's been killed. And he's been framed.
I was framed.
I hope you're ready when you are. I would say one thing in the movie I did like was more it showed it. No, stupid. Like him freaking out at everything. That made more sense than here. Here he feels too calm.
Stupid.
Yep, I love that. You're ready when you are. And what did he do? He took out a spray and matches. Whoosh! But of course, he makes it. Right? My face! Give me back my face! Oh, yeah.
I kind of like how he started acting like the mask itself was his actual face.
Because it is.
Like without the mask, it isn't him, you know?
Yeah, because that's how it is.
Because, as we learn in the next issue.
Yep. This is where it gets backstory. And the one character who can never catch a break in adaptations. The psychiatrist. He never catches a break.
Given the people we've seen in this story so far, that if you're a psychiatrist, you're doomed.
No. What I mean is he barely gets much. Always there for a few more scenes here and there, but he has a big character stuff here too. Like he comes in thinking like, I'm the guy who's going to figure out Rorschach. And then as he goes on talking with Rorschach, he then more and more breaks down until his marriage falls apart.
I found some sources. I'm still trying to find the direct quote that apparently Snyder wanted to film more about the psychiatrist. But
I can believe it, but there's not enough time.
I don't know why it was. I'm still trying to find the direct source for that quote by the time I eventually get to this issue.
Yep, of course I do love this. What is it? What do you see? A pretty butterfly. What do you see here? Oh, and we get again stuff like, what does that look like for him? His mother was making money through means, but of course wanders in. It's like, oh God, like, well, that killed the mood. And he got beaten for it.
Ooh.
But of course, like, some nice flowers. He knows like what he sees, but he knows what to say. And look at that smile there. He just like, Oh, we also find out, these guys harassing because of what his mom was. But this is the one where he just turned and became a wild animal. But he still had some control over himself. And let me double check. Walter.
Oh.
But see him with his wife. He's all happy and everything. He feels like, I'm on top of the world right now. But you keep calling me Walter. I don't like you. You don't like me. All right. Why is that exactly? Fat, wealthy, think you understand pain? I'll tell you something, doctor. I'll tell you about Rorschach. And this is when we find out about things. Like he worked for, in fabric and everything. Someone ordered a dress with the new Dr. Manhattan creative fabric. Always moving, always changing, always, like shifting, like his mask does. And then we get it was Kitty Genovese. And they're basing it off of that moment everyone's heard about. Woman being attacked, raped, and tortured. People screamed and no one called. That really happened. I don't know if it was the actual person, but that was a real event. No one. It was like, not my problem.
God, dude.
And this was in the 80s. This was New York. One of its in the 80s. In the 70s-ish. Or no, not 70s. 60s. In the 60s. But even then, by the 80s, something like that happened.
That's insanity to me.
Yep. So what did he do? They don't know. They weren't nothing to do with it. So he took it, and that's why he keeps making the mask out of it. She ain't gonna use it. No. Oh, we get into the moment then about the guy mocking him and everything. So what did he do? Grabs the fryer. Whoosh.
Yeah, that wouldn't really work in real life.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, he was about to be shivved, but yeah.
In real life, they wouldn't have those food items that available for the prisoners to reach out to them.
Nope, definitely not. And then, of course, we're seeing now he's starting to crack a little bit, I think it's unfair of you to bring up sex when you know I need to work. Oh, well, maybe I just sometimes notice how often you bring up work when you know I need sex. Wait, I didn't mean that. So now he's starting to get stressed out dealing with, especially after hearing about this. And then I was just, I wasn't Rorschach then. Then I was just Kovacs. Kovacs pretending to be Rorschach. Being Rorschach takes certain kind of insight. Back then, just thought I was Rorschach. Very naive, very young, very soft. Soft? How do you mean? Soft on scum. Too young to know any better. Molly coddled them. Let them live. As opposed to Mr. Jacobi and the other murders you're being charged with, presumably. Like, I know. Looking at your file, there's no record of serious violence against criminals before 1975. Like I say, soft. Hadn't realized the stakes we were playing back then. All of us, me, my friends, all soft. You have friends? Kovacs have friends. Other men in costume. All Kovacs ever was. Man in costume. Not Rorschach. Not Rorschach at all. Even back then, he was still just Kovacs at first. Even when the Keene Act passed, he was still just Kovacs.
Oh.
Until then, we're seeing all of it, just everything else. But he finally asked, I thought we'd try some more. How about taking a look at this one? Seen this one before. Yes, I know, but tell me what you really see. Dog. Dog was head split in half. What makes you think the dog would split the head in half? I did. And we find out what broke him. A young girl, heiress, young heiress had been abducted. Really young girl and everything. He went to go stop it. Try to save it. Thought it would just be a ransom.
Not actual heiress, it's someone who had a similar name.
Oh, sorry. Still, young child. Trying to think it would be a ransom or anything. And what happened? He goes in, finds in the fireplace, looks around, butcher equipment, looks outside, dog chewing human bones. And that's when he broke. That red, right there's the moment. Every time it goes, the red is when he's realizing things. And then that moment there is when he broke. Up until that point, he never saw true evil until that moment.
Yeah, the kidnapper thought he had caught an actual heiress, but when it was just someone with a similar name and basically worthless, he treated the hostage like she was worthless.
Yep, and he went first for the dogs. Who's got to bark for daddy? Oh God! Oh God! Yep. All right. Yep. He's right there. Look. Oh God, you can't prove anything. Where's the evidence? You can't do anything to me. Leaves them a hacksaw. Starts a fire. Yes. Shouldn't bother trying to saw through handcuffs. Never make it in time. He's giving him the saw option. Saw your arm off. I think Rorschach would have killed him even if he did escape. Of course, he stood there, watched for an hour. I love this. Imagine limbless, felt torsos inside, breasts blackening, belly smoldering, bursting into flame one by one. Watched for an hour. Nobody got out. Stood there and watched until everything burnt down. Existence is random, has no pattern, save what we imagine after staring at it for too long. No meaning save what we choose to impose. This rudderless world is not shaped by vague metaphysical forces. It's not God who kills the children, not fate that butchers them or destiny that feeds them to the dogs. It's us, only us. Streets stink of fire. The void breathes hard on my heart, turning its illusion to ice, shattering them. Was reborn then, free to scrawl out one's own design on this morally blank world. Where's Rorschach? Does that answer your question, Doctor? Gee, so that is when he broke. And then, of course, the Doctor is now completely broken. And then, and everything's just falling apart because now he's realizing Rorschach may have a point.
Yeah, and he tried to tell about it to the dinner guests, and they...
Of course, too disgusting. Yep, and the girl was 6.
Yeah.
Yep, this is where we get a bit more about his details and everything, and all that. Now we get a bit more with Dan and Lori. Because we get the Dashlighter moment, where's the Dashlighter? Yikes! I just love that where it's whoops!
Oh boy.
But yeah, of course, he just feels oh boy, and everything. And yep, the two starting to talk. This is what we find about him was Twilight Lady. A woman he fell for, but it was never going to be at all. He fell for her hard, but if I remember right, she was a lesbian, if I recall.
Somewhat bisexual. J. Michael Straczynski tried to do some of his own version of it in the before Watchmen series on Nite Owl. They had a connection. She genuinely fell in love with him, but she knew that she couldn't afford falling in love.
Yep, career first. Yep, I love how she's also mentioning stuff. I love this bit. public address system, the screechers function, air-to-L missile function, fog screen function, air-to-L missile, sure, button right next to the flamethrower. But that's it. That does it. No more smoking. I love that. When you realize I could have right there. I love that. It's like, nope, I quit. I almost blew myself up. I mean, talk about dangerous habits. I love that. But yeah, just all of them just, getting to, talk about everything that's been going on. So the dialogue here is great. I wish I could read through it all, but again, I'd be here forever.
Yeah, and it's 20 minutes past midnight. I'm don't hurry because of me. Just
no, I know, but yeah, just the two of them are just again this is also the two of them falling for each other more and more. Obviously, everything's starting to go to hell.
Or the attraction is there. It's just working slowly.
Yep.
Connect with them.
Yep, definitely. We get a little bit of hint of Ozzy through the television stuff. Everything. Again, I do like how they're able to spin multiple plates at once. Yep, we get his little dream of everything about what his nightmare and all that. Goes on down and he just stands there like because he couldn't perform. He couldn't perform at all. At least the way things were. But I love how
psychological issues.
Yep, you mentioned about what happened. I felt so powerless, so impotent. And I love he just talks. I came down here for my costume. I don't know. I feel worried, confused. Just need to take the air to blow away the cobwebs. Hell! I guess I look pretty Devo, right?
As a Devo fan, I agree.
But yep, they go out there. And they decided to go out there and actually get back into the swing of things. Back when they actually felt alive. And everything. And Laurie chooses to join in. They go stop it, to save some people.
Like first responders.
Yep. And everything. They get people out of there. And then sure enough, that's where they finally he feels alive again. And even decided, let's go break out Rorschach. But then, and this is where the hallelujah moment happened. Because Jared, you want to explain that part?
Oh, yeah, because with the hallelujah, the reason why they put that song is because apparently that was Zach's daughter's favorite song.
Well, there's that, but why the other reason?
That's why it was in the Snyder Cut trailer. But from what I have been, I'm still looking for the actual confirmed quotes. The producers supposedly wanted this to be an actual proper serious sex scene, but Snyder just decided that, I'm gonna make it cheesy instead.
Because he wanted to they want it, force it? All right, we'll make it so cringe.
Yeah, that sounds like Zach.
And sure enough, whoosh, they hit the flamethrower to indicate, well. Yeah, but this is the side, I think we should spring Rorschach. What?
Which one said it? Said that, by the way.
Yep. But, the stuff was Nite Owl with Hollis. As we see, it's Halloween now. As, they've talked up, and it's first time they've talked in ages. Again, just feel like good old friends. And I feel like Hollis always felt like, why didn't I make a move? Why didn't I make a move on Sally and get her out of all this? Right. He's regretted that. And I like that. It's this whole what could have been. Yep. But, as everything's going on, we keep reading a bit more from, with the comic as it keeps jumping around. Now, Laurie and Dan are trying to figure out how to bust him out of there and everything. As, again, the world is constantly building up. The Red Cross is at the Pakistani border now.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Of course. This is where we then get, because of corruption there, they're meeting up with, that guy, Rorschach. It's been a long time. Big figure. Small world. Small world. I like that. That's very good. Basically saying once that guy you burned dies, we're going to be leading into we'll be leading to a riot. why? Which will give us a perfect opportunity to bust in and kill you. I love it. Like, then you'll die by inches. Tall order. No, I've been waiting 20 years. There's no hurry. So yeah, and now we see the bit of him meeting up. Now in the anime movie, they did this with Hollis instead, which I gotta be honest, I kind of like that. Gave Hollis a little bit more to do. In the animated movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Jared,
it.
you saw it. What did you think? What did you think about the Hollis being in this bit?
Which one of you were asking that?
I think Jared. Jared, what did you think in the animated movie?
It was okay. And again, it's like when we covered the animated movie, one of the things I said is that, yeah, it's definitely going for more of a, it's more on the comic, but it's like, it's still, some of the stuff brought up in there like this, I kind of feel like kind of slows the pacing down a little bit. So I'm like, do we really need this?
True, but I think why it works here is having it be Hollis. Hollis is someone that could figure it out. We could spell things out for the audience, and he would keep it a secret, as opposed to a detective here who we're wondering, will he keep it a secret or not?
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So, we find out that the guy who's been working on the Black Freighter had been abducted. And of course, we have the guy who works at Frontiersman saying, we could do something with this. Oh, get that out of here. This is where we find out that he's been with this other artist, and oh boy, the designs and everything. So yeah, we're just seeing things are again built. Each issue does a lot of build-up stuff here. Eventually, they hear about with Rorschach. They realize, hey, wait, he worked with that Nite Owl. I know what that Nite Owl guy is. Wrong Nite Owl.
Oops.
Yep. Of course, like him a little shorter. Fat chance. Fat, you lousy bastard. Ties him up. And then, of course, crap, we can't cut through with this guy big here. He broke my fingers. We gotta cut out. No, come on. You can't be, your revenge can't be that important. And I love it. It's like, 1-0. Your move. Come and get me. Oh boy, all that blood.
Yeah. This is like half horror.
Yep, but yeah, they start fighting their way through there. Of course, he then makes a smart move. She climbs up top, and he noticed there's a bad wire. So breaks it. The guy comes in ready to kill him, breaks the toilet, water gets it. Never disposed of sewage with a toilet before. Obvious, really. 2-0. Your move. Ah! The guy runs off. Rorschach just like walks right for him. Yep. And he talks about, like what they're talking. And then of course, run to the bathroom. Hey Rorschach, is that you? We're not interrupting anything. No, excuse me. Have to visit men's room. Oh, for Christ's sake. Look, it's okay. I mean, it happens to everybody, right? I remember once I lost a big arrest like that. I was closing on this dope dealer and needed to take a leak. By the time I got in and out of my costume, he vanished. I redesigned it since then. Oh, sure. Everybody does that. And then, of course, then when he comes out, there, did what had to be done. Can we leave? It can leave now. Really? I mean, you sure? We don't want to get too reckless and go diving headfirst into things. Good advice. Sure, there are many who would agree with you. Bloop, 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 bloop. From the toilet. But yeah, of course. Now, I did love in the movie. Tell me, doctor, what do you see? I love that moment. That I loved. But instead, they have it be, of course, he gets a secondary mask, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, meets up with John, who takes her into Mars. She won't be traveling with us. But yep, meanwhile, everything is starting. This is where they find about Nite Owl, busting out, busting Rorschach out, like, oh, the hell was them? And and of course he sings with a bunch of kids, and and I liked in the movie he actually put up a fight, but Poor Hollis. He didn't deserve that. All for a misunderstanding. And they said they thought they took down someone who deserved it.
Damn.
Oh, this is going off of what we were saying earlier. We actually see what they were working on. How things are just boiling over.
Right.
Yep. Now we get Laurie's issue. Of course, he brings her to Mars, and of course she can't breathe for a moment. So, kind of reminds me of Total Recall.
All right.
It'd be a lot harder than just no breath landing on Mars with no suit, no nothing.
You got to get
Feel
your ass
like on fire.
You gotta get your ass to Mars. But you're not me. I'm you. Oh, shit.
But of course, obviously then, starts walking up there and everything. Why ask you? Why does my perception of this time distress you? Why ask? You already know my answer. It's stupid when I left you, when Nova Express attacked you. You were surprised. Why, if you knew it would happen? Everything is preordained, even my responses. Can you just go through the motions, acting them out? Is that what you are, the most powerful thing in the universe, and you're just a puppet following a script? We're all puppets, Laurie. I'm just a puppet who can see the strings. Of course, what happens if I just stay down here and screw with all your predictions? What happens then? John, I said what happens then? You're... Laurie! You're already proving you can't screw with it! It commences when you surprise me with the information that you and Dryberg have been sleeping together. You know about me and Dan? No, not yet. But in a few moments, you're going to tell me. Yeah! John, what are you trying to do to me? I would have to say, I don't blame her. I get frustrated dealing with this little back and forth too. Wouldn't you guys? We will.
It's a little ridiculous. It's what are you gonna do in the future? It's kind of crazy.
Yep. But we see about her having what she believed was a dream, hearing her parents arguing, fighting, all this stuff, but it's making very clear. Okay, this is gonna reveal the comedian is Laurie's father. They met up at a separate point afterwards, had sex and everything. It was a case where they changed. They were both different people that time around. But of course, she didn't remember what he had done, and she regretted what she did, and then decided, screw it, married her agent, and basically decided to say that Laurie was his child and everything. But of course, her husband kept holding that over her. And everything. And to show why he never cared for Laurie. But of course, she still never put two and two together yet. But except that she knew he wasn't her father. She thought it was Hooded Justice. But with Dan, it isn't like that. As a lover, he's more of a receptive. The type you can pour your troubles out to. You mean that you're sleeping with Freiberg? But you already know. I said often that you were my only link. So this is where he's moving on, because now he knows. And this is the moment where he is supposed to know, and his reaction is matching. Again, he's following the script.
It's something that I think TV tropes when comparing the movie Manhattan and the book Manhattan, that his perception depends on the media that he is in. With
That's
book,
true.
you can go back and forth with the pages, but with a movie, you can only go one direction.
That's true.
Interesting observation.
Yep, but this is where we get a bit more about Laurie. This is her as a younger teenager, getting ready, wanting to go kick butt and everything, be like her mom, meets Hollis and Captain Metropolis and everything. And this is also when Brian showed up, and this is when he had his mental break. Byron, yeah. Again, just giving about how hard her life is, how much she was manipulated into everything. Oh, when her meeting up with comedian saying, that was pretty cool what you were. You're pretty cool. And he said, you're otherwise you ain't got her hair, but otherwise you're like her. You're a looker. Of course, it's supposed to be her younger. Again, this is supposed to be her teenager. She's not that much different from her adult self.
Something about Dave Gibbons' artistic talents.
Yeah, he's not good at drawing age differentiation unless it's obvious.
Yeah, maybe when it comes to younger characters, like when these characters age and become older, that becomes kind of noticeable with some few details. But
yeah,
younger characters, that's another thing.
But yeah, gives her a light and everything. But then I love this. Christ, we were just talking. Can a guy talk to his old friend's daughter? Interesting phrasing.
Yeah, he was about to say the other obvious thing, but maybe he thought, not my place to tell her. It's when she finds out.
Sally's. Yeah. Yep, of course. She's all this. He keeps on saying why should he care? Why should he care about any of this? He's talking about the wider span of the universe and everything, and how that interests him more. Why should he care about the ants? Oh, and then there's a point where he mentioned how she was a mean drunk. She had just read Under the Hood, so she knew about what happened. So she'd go and choose out the comedian, saying about what happened and all that. Somebody get her boyfriend. Kid, are you sure you want to take this all the way? Damn straight I do. You had her, but here's something. Some women, you have to force her to have sex against her will. Only once. He's not saying that as an excuse. He's not saying that as an excuse.
Yeah, just
that I like.
That, yep, did it once. Then at that one, I did it.
But then they properly had sex the last time. But she's not seeing it that way. She sees it as you scumbag.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure he would have explained it if she didn't toss that in his face. But then, of course. This eventually walks down like, you're wrong. It's not ending in tears. But then that's the moment then where she's arguing and then all the stuff starts coming to her mind. And then she soon realizes, no, not him. I love that.
No. Whoa.
Yep, all of it shatters. And yeah, shows he is in tears. But then after this, it's when he realizes the importance of all of it. What are the odds? Her mother and the man who almost raped her mother would eventually reconcile, come together at the right moment, and then out of everything when they had sex, all that, what would happen? The unlikely combination would eventually lead to Laurie, who would be so important to Manhattan's life. All of those astronomical odds define miracles. That's why people say the miracle of life. It's why whenever you have fiction, having it be, the person, like in the case of let's say Back to the Future, given all the changes happen, what are the honest odds of George and Lorraine conceiving Marty at the exact same moment and everything, given how much their life changed?
Marty, such a nice name.
You get what I mean? What are the odds, really, when you really think about it?
Marty, will we ever see you again? I guarantee you.
Eric, you get what I'm saying, right?
That's why the end gags are now funny to me.
Yep, we go.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't have something where you're going back in time and stumbling across it and making it worse, but then not have anything actually be affected in the future. Like, it's not it's more of a general thing. It's not going to be central to the thing you're trying to change. It's going to spread out to everything around you. Things are going to change.
Butterfly effect. Yeah, the butterfly effect.
Exactly. Like much more should change than just like the one thing that did.
Exactly. But yeah, so we're starting to see as things are starting to boil over. We're seeing Dan and Nite Owl and Rorschach are starting to piece things together a little bit more. Oh, of course, this is Sheriff. Long time no see. Told press I made sexual advances to you. Not true. Very bad. No, I never said that. I got misquoted. Oh, God, please don't. Rorschach, come on, man. Leave it. Can't. Serious business. Slur on reputation. How much did they pay you to lie about me, whore? Oh, please don't say that. Not in front of my kids. Please, they don't know.
And he leaves it.
Yeah, sees himself in the kids and thinks about, okay, no, I'm not one of those men.
I like that. I like that. But this is now where we're seeing him, and again, here comes something else the TV show royally botches. Okay. We see these people here that work for him. Keep an eye on them. I'll tell you what the show botches later. Now, let's just assume it's not just these three. There's a bunch more elsewhere in the facility. Let's just assume that, all right?
All right.
Now, everything's getting ready. Now, they haven't figured out who yet. They're just trying to piece up together, figure out where to go. But, of course, exactly. So, Trace Killer, visit bars, squeeze them, been lazing around a long time. Maybe you've forgotten how things are done. Lazing? Listen, I've had it. Who the hell do you think you are? You live off people while insulting them. Nobody complains because they think you're a goddamn lunatic. You know how hard it is to being your friend? Look, Rorschach, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said all that. Listen, you're right. We've both been down here too long. It must be dark enough to surface by now. I'll take him up. Daniel, you are a good friend. I know that. I'm sorry that it is sometimes difficult. Hey, forget it. It's okay, man. It's okay.
That scene was done well in the movie.
Yeah, I loved how that was done. It's again, see what I mean? The Rorschach Nite Owl stuff are the best parts because these two are legitimately good friends. Nice. Even if Rorschach won't agree yet, it's Danny is the only one who actually does keep Rorschach, hit the last holdoff of Walter or Kovac.
Oh.
Dan is the last thing that keeps Kovac around. That's why Rorschach is so sane around him. Because their friendship meant that much to him. Oh, now here's coming towards the end soon of the Black Freighter, but I already explained everything. But yeah, they go in to meet up. They hear about there were slip knots and everything. They didn't hear about that. They're just trying to figure it out. But then there's trying to figure out all this stuff. They're getting some word about all the other freight handlers were in on things. Supposed to be an accident, overdose bullshit. My guy gave me the envelope. He fell under a subway train. I need protection because he knows people keep dying. Those who keep on being in their fight keep getting killed.
Right.
But then they overheard about what happened to Mason. And then, who did it? Tell me you did it, you slime. Who murdered Hollis? And you tell them they're dead. You know how much firepower I have floating out there? Not in front of civilians. We have the knowledge that we wanted. I love how Rorschach, this isn't you, man.
Don't do it.
Exactly. Unidentified King murders Mason. Supports mass killer theory. Look, I don't care right now. I don't care. Right now, I don't care about whose theory is best. Just shut up and bring the ship down. You're suggesting that by finding mass killer can have revenge for Mason's death. Meant to comfort you. Comfort me? Who in their right mind would take comfort from... Yeah, okay. Thanks, Rorschach. Really, thank you. You're welcome. Now know who paid to kill Vite. Information should convince him to help us. Sure. They go on. Fine. I can't believe he's dead. I remember Adrian once telling me that the Egyptians regard death as a voyage. Nice idea if you can afford to go first class with pharaohs. But judging by our departure, most of us travel and steer edge. Again, I love when you see a moment like that and you realize Rorschach has a brain. He has a brain up there.
Isn't just a weapon.
Yeah. Now, all these other people, these are all the people that worked on it. Artists, physicians, scientists, so many people here. And there's the artists, the two artists. They find a bomb. Boom! No loose ends.
Oh, Jesus. No loose ends.
Oh, yeah. They designed everything.
Jesus.
So they start looking up things. A lot of things don't start to add up. So they start to realize about some of the companies and everything. Ramses being the second being the password and everything. And this is when he realizes it was Adrian behind it all. Everything was Adrian's doing. So, of course, he writes it all out, figures out, puts on all the information about Vite and everything. And then he leaves that message, and all that. leaves it for the frontiersmen to be able to utilize. Meanwhile, we start seeing the story starting to wrap up. We see the frontiersmen who are given their stuff. They're making their way over there to meet, to go deal with it. Of course, they crash land. Oh, and look at that! The snow owl.
That's not suspicious at all.
We never seen this in any adaptation.
Actually,
there was
the movie had him in a white owl suit when they were walking through the snow.
Yeah,
oh, you're right. They did. You're right. They did, but they didn't look like this. Is what I mean.
It didn't look like that. Well, then again, the movie was a very modernized version of the suit. I think that they may have had that white owl thing in the animated movie.
You're right. You're right.
It's
so I got to it.
I know, right?
So it looks like a real owl, though.
It's so top heavy.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my god. It does.
We're nearly done, though. This is the second and the penultimate issue.
Here we go.
Yep, as they're trying to figure out why, what caused this, why, and how can anyone tell if he's gone crazy? Meanwhile, Adrian. Oh, go ahead. Adrian is just walking through, putting all the final checks, pushes the button and everything. In other words, it's already. Well, we know that the classic line. We'll get to it. Everything is starting to boil over. Everything, all the other side characters we've been following, some background characters, including this couple and this lesbian couple and all that. This Adrian with some of his help, his cleaners, all that stuff, his workers. He's explaining everything about how his life, growing up, all that stuff, his intelligence. Again, everything is starting to boil over. And you have this lesbian couple, and one of them saying, "It's a book. Let's make our relationship work," and the other one saying, "I just want to go with bed to you one more time, and then I want to be straight." And then she doesn't like what she's become, it being that way. Again, so much is boiling over. But we find out they're dead. He killed them. I love this moment. Oh, look at that. They're sitting there perfectly still. Butterfly lands on their face. Make it very clear they ain't moving. Now, but here's what happened. In the show, now think that. Look at how much Vite is cleaning up his loose ends. Pretty thoroughly, right?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out, according to the show, while he was recording some of his videos, a cleaner from Vietnam, when it broke into his main desk area, hacked put in his password for his computer, opened up a storage thing that held all of his personal fluids to knock herself up with a kid of his, and then she closed it up and left. She just walked out the door. She just walked out the door, and nobody saw about the cleaning lady. Given all this stuff, does that make sense that he would leave a loose end like that?
No.
I need to watch. Okay, I need to watch that show now.
Does that make sense?
Just so I can see how it actually happens instead of being told how it happens, so that I can say, okay.
Research, right, Pika? It's for research.
Trust me. It's just.
It's all for the logistics of it.
No, I'm not kidding. It's just, we just see it happen, and then they just say she walked out the door and survived. Adrian didn't go looking for her because she's a loose end. With how thorough he's doing, does that sound like something Adrian would do? No.
Probably not.
We're then seeing a little bit more, with the psychiatrist, his wife. They make their way inside as they're, again, talking about what they know about him and with Adrian. And they try to fight, but of course, manners. Adrian, don't make me duh. Now, what can I do for you? And then that's when he explains everything. How, everything that Edward did opened his eyes. Basically, when he realized he was right. I was thinking too small. Oh, I love this, of course, with Rorschach. He's like, ready to stab him, and then, nope. And look how casual he is. But yeah, that's what he realized, especially after did you ever read JFK's intended speech before he was assassinated and everything? And all that. And then, basically saying how he started realizing fighting crime wasn't enough. He had to deal with the world, but the world wasn't going to change and there was not much they can do with one person or anything. Even if he with his business could do it. Not enough. You need something to unite the world. Yep, we see again. All this stuff is building.
Isn't that the psychiatrist and his wife?
That is what. Yeah, that's them. Yeah, they're meeting up.
This is what I meant when I was saying that he tried to have some brief stint at the vigilantism by he's wearing a helmet and he's trying to go in to stop a fight.
Yep, and he even says I'm sorry, it's the world. But yep, and he's explaining all of this stuff and how all of his machination, all of his manipulation, which we figured out what he had done. How John's president accelerated everything. Oh, and that's where we find out about them being what happened with the comic. We find out both of their names are Bernard. And I love it. It's who cares? Just a name. But it's to this guy, after everything that's going on currently, it's losing so much that this job's all he has left and everything. And this kid's been coming by every day. He feels a close ship and he's like, son of a bitch, we both have the same name. That has to mean something.
Martha.
Yeah. Yep, Bernard, but it's Bernard.
Yeah. Why did you say that name?
Yep, but yeah, they have to go and they want to try and stop that fight going on and everything. Oh boy! And then obviously we find out that what happened was while flying over the island that we saw before, where they were working everything. Comedian landed and saw stuff. Didn't pin it to Adrian, but he did figure out what the end goal was, and it broke him. Thing was, Malik, because he was one of the people being given cancer and everything, had recordings there, cameras and audio. So when Comedian came there to have his breakdown and everything, Adrian realized, well, crap, he found out. I gotta go and kill him. And yeah, it was Adrian that killed him. So he went out there. Then, of course, he's the one who shoved the cyanide capsule in his assassin's mouth and everything. All of it to cover it up. And then, of course, when was this helpless Black Fang supposed to happen? When were you planning to do it? Here's the line. Do it. Dan, I'm not a Republic serial villain. Do you honestly think I'd explain my master stroke if there remained the slightest chance of you affecting his outcome? I did it 35 minutes ago. And there goes. And I love it. The older Bernie tries to shelter the younger one. We get a bit of backstory then, more with Adrian. And look at that detail.
Blood.
Oh, damn.
And here it is. And turns out it wasn't because of the violence that they didn't go with the squid. It turns out it was because that script, the David Hayter script, was written not long after 9/11.
Yeah, I have a quote here.
Yeah, that was
what I pitched to Larry was actually a miniseries for HBO. It would have cost $100 million. But I mapped it out, was a 2-hour movie, looked at Peter Jackson, broke everything. One thing that has tripped to Hollywood is Cold War setting. There was an impending doom with 9/11. Unfortunately, we got it right back in again. So we didn't update it.
Look at that. All the people we've been following, dead.
Jeez.
Yep. Midnight, November 2nd. That's unusual. I expected it to reappear on Earth much earlier. The static interference, I know it's earlier, makes everything so unpredictable. Obvious, it wasn't caused by a warhead detonation. But yeah, the whole point of this is to make it look like an alien invasion. And because that's like a third part faction coming in, so the whole world can unite to go after it. Or at least to fight it off. In other words, he's doing the great big lie. Which I'm sure you've all heard of that phrase, right? The great big lie.
Yeah, I heard.
A lie so big, it would convince everyone, and no one would question it. So yeah, you see you see a gun there. She picks up that gun, but it's so subtle. But yep, so it meets up there and like, I suppose I'd have had even said like, this doesn't make sense. You're kidding. What if he shot you first instead of your secretary? I suppose I'd have to catch the bullet. You can't really do it. Again, he keeps taunting him, saying how this is needed and everything. All this stuff. Like Max Shea's description of an alien world, higher images, and Lynette Poly sound. Basically, here's the other thing: is that thing was not just simply an alien appearing. It sounded a psychic wave to as far as Jersey, people either died or were given complete and utter psychic, overload. So, yep. Oh, and I love then this bit. Like, after all, since tachyons only affect me, he's obviously anticipating my possible discovery of its plot for some considerable time. And of course, it's like, wait a minute, I've been here. This is Antarctica. That's Adrian's fortress. Yes, he killed Blake at half of New York. Excuse me, Rorschach. I'm informing Laurie 90 seconds ago. I love that moment, and then they re-show it. Like, look.
I want to reach this final part.
I love that moment, even right here.
Right, I see it.
But yep, he's following for him, and like the tachyons were clever. This is stupid. It isn't like you to. Very well, if I must. I must follow this through to the bitter end. Like he knows what's coming by now.
Right.
Bubastis, forgive me. Oh. I really wasn't sure that would work. Of course, as the show revealed, that was plan B. B for blowing him up.
Oh boy.
Right? You're an asshole. But he caught the bullet. Oh, shit. Like, oh, Daniel. Please, do grow up. He didn't explain. But of course, I'm disappointed, Invite. Very disappointed. But basically, all this with the biome, a few more minutes, and then, the world's smartest man means no more to me than it does its smartest termite. I love that line. But then he reveals it worked. He did it. But of course, then he points out if they expose it, not only will things go back to the way they were, it will go back worse. But I'll say this. I prefer this over framing Manhattan as the villain because he was, even though he left, he was still considered an American weapon. So would you, Pika, since you're covering it, do you agree that it doesn't make much sense?
Yeah, there's kind of some holes in it, and there's just one quote that I have found. I'm trying to find some other parts of it. Like, it's still David Hayter's script that made the difference, but it's also how much of it was in the comic. It just happened. The attack happened in New York. Mm-hmm. But in the movie, it was many other locations too.
Yep. Also, here's a little detail I should point out to you, Pika. I don't know if you noticed. Because they did, they were going for this, utilizing Manhattan's energy. They decided to have it be that the technology had not progressed as far because they never got to utilizing Manhattan's power because it was going to be used for this, for the attack. That's why you don't get the electric cars. Interesting, huh? Yeah. But yeah, so now they're in a catch-22. They can't reveal it. If they do, it'll make things worse. But of course, and Rorschach's like, he's going to go tell everyone. No, not even in the face of Armageddon. Never compromise. But yeah, Adrian won. He walks off. Now, I got to say, I prefer how both movies have it be Daniel goes out and sees what happened to Rorschach. I prefer that to him going with Laurie so they can bang.
Yeah, that just seems a little tonally off by comparison.
It's mostly maybe it's like one of I think it's called "Glad to Be Alive" sex.
Which I get that, and it's showing that those two are close, but I prefer Dan being there. Where are you going?
The movies did this better.
Back to Owl's ship, back to America. Evil must be punished. People must be told.
Rorschach, you know I can't let you do that.
Of course, must protect Vite's new utopia. One more body amongst Foundation makes little difference. Well, what are you waiting for? Do it.
Rorschach,
do it!
He then sees, nice to know that Laurie is happy, walking on water. So, John, was hoping we'd have the chance to talk. I know people think me callous, but I made myself feel every death by day, and by day, I imagine endless faces. By night, well, I dream about swimming towards a hideous... No, never mind, it isn't significant. What's significant is that I know I've struggled across the backs of murdered innocents to save humanity. But someone had to take the weight of that awful necessary crime. I hope you'd understand, unlike Rorschach. You needn't consider Rorschach. I strongly doubt he'll reach civilization. But yes, I understand. Without condoning or condemning human affairs cannot be my concern. I'm leaving this galaxy for one less complicated. But you regained interest in human life. Yes, I have. I think perhaps I'll create some. Goodbye, Adrian. John, wait. Before you leave, I did the right thing, didn't I? It all worked out in the end. In the end, nothing ends, Adrian. Nothing ever ends. John, wait. What do you mean by...
You know what's hilarious with this? He says he wants to go to a universe less complicated, so he goes to the DC universe, which arguably is the most complicated.
Uh-huh.
That's the funny part about when you factor in the Doomsday Clock. I'm like, brother, you have no idea what complicated means.
Well, he probably thought it's comic books. It's not going to be that complicated. Then once he got to, he realized, oh, I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm. But wouldn't he have known? Doesn't he know?
No. Well, it's like Jeff John plays loose with the Rorschach, with how Manhattan stuff works.
Yeah.
Like, he eventually had to be Manhattan knows things that he's not, like experiencing when that shouldn't work.
It should maybe something. The limit could be that he could see through the eyes of the people he slowed, like he tried with the actor.
That's true, but again, that's not what he's supposed to be able to do. But yeah, so this is where we see that Laurie and Daniel have made their hairs blonde and everything, going under false names and all that, acting like they're he was Dan Dryberg, and we're Sam and Sandra Hollis. I love they take over Hollis's name. I like that. Not legally married, huh? Equally delighted, Miss Jupiter. I'm a fan from way back. Oh, I like this one. But yeah, I said, like, I know who my real dad was. She tries to explain it. She says, no, I get it. Everything. I was like, I hope it doesn't embarrass you. Not at all. Truth told, and tell the truth. In 52, I owned a copy. You keep it. But, yep, we have that moment. As we find out, Richie had said they're going to be doing more vigilantism. If you go by the show, they got arrested. She threw Dan under the bus so she can get a deal. And if you go by the Doomsday Clock, the two of them just stayed married and had a kid and everything and never really did much vigilantism. The show was trying to show it. She became more like Blake as it went on. And then, of course, we get the big cliffhanger. They like we're told, because they can't do anything with the Russian story because now they made peace. They would say, well, Robert Redford said he's running for president. Great. And, we don't let that go. But then he says, like, take from the crank files. And it's like, which one should I run? You know what? Pick whichever one you want. I leave it entirely in your hands.
Oh boy!
And he could grab, and that's the best part. We don't know what he grabbed. Did he grab the journal? Did he grab something else?
Yeah,
and that
left alone.
And that is it. That's it.
Pretty good.
Wow.
What did you guys think? Okay, let's start one at a time. Stefan Docs.
That was kind of brutal,
It
dude.
was dark.
That was super dark.
It was dark. I
Super
liked it. Obviously,
exposition.
it was very much like the movie, and you know, it's a change. It was always just like a change in. Always just like a change in the complete rotation of Superman, Batman. They're great. But,
yeah, right.
know,
It's a different, definitely different.
Like those types of stories.
Yeah, I would
Dark,
bump
though.
up to like 7.5 or an 8, just because I really did like the artwork and the use of the color and the lighting and shadow.
Oh, the artwork was like a million
But like
out of
the
10.
story was such a slog to me, and it was just like so much filler stuff to just get to the same outcome.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Crazy.
I mean, it's written like a novel, where you sometimes have side stories, like each chapter focusing on different people.
Yes. And I genuinely do think that these people have a problem with CP.
Yeah.
There was way too much of it.
Yeah.
Yep. It no different than John Byrne, but even Byrne don't ever went as flippant.
Are you sure he had Superman make out with a 16-year-old woman?
Maybe they should both be looked at.
But he never did. I agree with that. But I was gonna say what he never did. He never did. Lost Girls.
That is very true. That is very.
He never did Lost Girls.
Put it this way, they're both dirtbags, but on a scale of dirtbaggery, Alan Moore is perpetually at the top.
Yep.
This guy is the baggeriest of.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
But yeah, so Eric, your turn.
Darn. It's a lot to unpack. Obviously, but yeah, but you know, it is a classic. I'll give it that. The artwork, I liked, as Stefan Dog said, the contrast of the artwork. You know, with all the shadows and the colors and everything, everything. And like you said, it does kind of play like a novel. That each issue kind of focuses on a different character before we get back to the mystery. History, and like you said, it all builds up to something. Nothing wasted. I begin to see why you like villains with like these complicated plans that leave no holes, because this is a story with very little holes.
Definitely, there really isn't that many holes on this one.
So I can see why a lot of people like it. It is very dialogue heavy, so I definitely want to read it now. But I can see why a lot of people look at this as a masterpiece.
Jared,
so 5 out of 5.
That's Jared. What about you?
Yeah, so I definitely could see why this is like one of the comics that's like everyone should have on their shelf. I mean, I got mine, but it's one of those things where this is the book that like a lot of comic book like pros like Tom King try to like imitate, but they forget they want to do Watchmen, but forget what made Watchmen as effective as it was back then. Too many people want to write that dark and gritty superhero stories, just like Watchmen. And I'm like, that's fine. It worked back then because at the time there wasn't a lot of this. Nowadays, everyone's trying to be this.
Exactly. They're trying to be this great deconstruction of superheroes. And I'll be honest, I'll say this. Squadron Supreme, when they did that, they actually did that within the superhero context and everything. Where,
by the way, predated Watchmen.
Yes. But that was done, like I said, that was done more within the superhero world, like a Justice League world and everything. This was done in a more grounded, what if heroes exist in the real world? And I gotta say, this is still one of the ones that gets it right.
Yes.
Now, granted, they had
people without powers and actually like doing vigilante things. I could see that.
Except with the exception of Manhattan. Yeah, with the exception of Manhattan. Yeah.
And the fact there's psychics in this world as well.
Yeah, right. Though, if it was just like a normal world, it would basically just be baseball bats and guns.
Yep. But when you have someone like Manhattan, that's a case of like the world power changed.
Yep.
Ingrid, what
dynamic changed.
Yep. Ingrid, what about you?
I definitely echo the earlier sentiments of why I can understand why this became a classic, but it's just really hard to kind of go back and read this after we have had that whole history of edgy stuff that tried to imitate it but didn't get the point. It's kind of like an equivalent of the Seinfeld effect.
Yes.
As described in TV tropes. And there's definitely some places where it shows its age and it shows some things that were disregarded by the author. But overall, I really like how it sort of like questions this idea of, are these people really supposed to be above humanity or whatever? It's like, is that a perspective that you should really take? And what I think is that human beings can only hold so much information at once. Most people are just hanging out on the regular level of things and can be fine because they're mostly immersed in their everyday lives. Whereas you put people a couple levels up and look like the wider world, and it's so overwhelming that you can't really see those smaller details anymore without just going completely hog crazy. Like, seeing things on the, like, this broader class greater good scale is really all that they can, like, do once they're aware of that kind of stuff. And then it's just, you see all of these side stories of, like, people who are just persisting in ordinary ways. And I think maybe that's a level of the deconstruction that maybe doesn't get addressed as often in what was Watchmen's real strength. If you get what I'm saying.
I do. Okay, and Pika, what about you?
Well, I'm still working on it, so I will have more to say eventually. So far, yeah, it's one of the greatest the comic series in the sense that it did break some certain mold and did deconstruct and a lot of those tropes. Like, for example, there was also we didn't actually point out to it, Daniel, for example. Daniel was basically an ascended fanboy who got to be, but how much of a life did he have outside of being Nite Owl? Like,
we don't really know much about
him. We never saw him have a job, and only life he had and highlight in life was to just have beers with Hollies.
That's true. Sorry, Ingrid, I muted you for a moment. Things were getting a little loud on your end. But yeah. So here's one other question: favorite character or characters, if it's more than one. Let's start with you, Pika.
Well, Daniel, obviously.
Yep, I agree with that. Rorschach only when he's with Daniel, though. Ingrid, what about you?
Oh God, you're making me choose one? How many characters there were?
So well done.
Gotcha. Sorry. They're like all great pieces of chocolate. Sorry, but you can only get zits from one of them.
Okay, I said that's why I said characters. If you need more than one, go right ahead.
I'm just trying to remember them all, honestly.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a moment. What about you, Jared?
Manhattan, because I like the idea of like this god that slowly loses his humanity and requires a wake-up call in order for him to say, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? Or in this case, how did I not see this?
Yep, definitely. Eric, what about you?
Rorschach, Nite Owl, and Lori, I think, were the ones I either connected to the most or I found the most interesting as it went on. And the more we learned about them and stuff.
And Stephen Dox, what about you two?
Good.
I don't know. I don't have a favorite because no matter who I pick, they suck.
Exactly. Like for me, it would have been Rorschach, but it's also like,
I would say Daniel.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel had the good story too, but
But
I relate to Crazy also. Now, I think the way that they wrote Rorschach was kind of better than Danny, but that's just me.
True. Oh, that's true. I mean, Rorschach, now, that's the big thing with Rorschach. Everyone misinterprets him as the good guy. Right. He ain't really.
No.
It's probably more with his final stand.
Yeah, that's
trying to be the less bad guy.
In the final moments, people show who they really are, and people show the defiance he showed in not wanting to live in a lie. That's probably where the fascination and where people's appreciation for him comes from.
Oh yeah, and I would definitely agree with that. But when you actually look at the other detail of him, he is racist, bigoted. He is bigoted, big time.
When you take a look at this, and TV Charts backs me up on this, the whole story is about warts and all with the characters.
Definitely. Right. Daniel probably has the least amount of warts. Definitely.
Right. They're we expose their flaws quite a bit, even though they're competent heroes. That's the other thing a lot of people miss. Yes, they're not just, even though there's still a little bit of, them acting like goofs and stuff, they're still not bad. The heroes are still not inherently a bad thing, but it's reaching a boiling point by all this.
Yes, exactly.
They're still human.
Whereas a lot of stories today just take a lighthearted character and just drop them into a dark environment. That's not how it works.
That's true. Which I think, can we all agree though? Adrian's the biggest bastard in probably comics. He is the biggest bastard because, I'm sorry, he convinces himself he did what's right, and he's trying to justify it all, but it's like, dude, you killed millions of people!
You are a James Bond on acid.
You did this for your ego!
Millions.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just, whenever I see something that's just the ends justify the means, it's just like, how do you even know this will 100% work? Because if it doesn't, then you just killed a whole bunch of people or did whatever for nothing. And that's part of why that philosophy is just so flawed. Like, if you're doing something that maybe isn't as likely to work but doesn't endanger people, well, if it fails, then, well, it's not much of a loss. But if something like that, with such a body count, fails, then you basically just screwed for nothing. And that's really why the ends justify the means ultimately doesn't work, because it's like, you're assuming you'll succeed, but if you don't, you basically just did something shitty for no reason.
Yeah, if you don't succeed, you're just a mass murderer.
Yeah, you're going to say something, Jared?
No, it's like, that's the thing, to Ingrid's point. How do you know that, like, let's say it goes through and humanity unites again. How do you know they're not going to be at each other's throats again like 2 years later? That's
why in the show it was revealed, right? He didn't do more blow-ups. He would drop down little squids and everything to make it seem like, to remind people of everything, but eventually just became an annoyance.
Also, follow-up question, what is with Adrian's obsession with squids?
Maybe he read on H.P. Lovecraft.
He is no more.
Exactly.
He's the more. He is the
monstro. Protect me.
Yeah, but again, overall, this clearly is considered being the only comic on the New York Times bestseller list. It exists there for a reason. Why a lot of people, mainstreamers, look at this as a classic is for a reason, because it's the closer we get to an actual novel.
Exactly. A visual
without being a novel adaptation.
Yeah, it's like a visual novel. I think this is where a graphic novel might have started.
Yeah. So yeah.
Or I shouldn't say started, but realized itself.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was Watchmen. That was my 600th stream. Thank you guys all. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys all. Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you guys all for joining. And as we go forward, we've got Britt and me finishing up the Peter David Supergirl. Britt and me then going into Bomb Queen. You might find that interesting. James Knox, you guys know him from Tristan's channel. He and I are going over Donnie Cates' Venom run.
Oh hell yeah, Venom run.
Yep. Jared and I have gone over the Trinity's 1 year later stories. Yep. Pika and I have done Brightest Day. We'll get back to doing more of that. Raymond and I are trying to properly, because I did it in a non-PTN video, go over the different DC Predator books and so much more. Here's the 700, people.
Let's go. We'll get there.
Yep. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, whatever we do in the future, we'll make it to 700. I get promise.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's right.
see you guys all on the next one.
Cheers, everyone.
Take
Thank you
care.
for